Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another paper crafting video tutorial. Today I want to showcase two of my picks from the Spellbinders Holiday Gift Guide 2025, and that is Delivering Joy Sleigh, as well as the Candy Canes and Holly. We're going to start with the Delivering Joy Sleigh, and I'm also going to be using this awesome nested postage die set for the base of these cards. This is called Nested Postage Labels and Tag Etched Dies. And then we also are going to pull a few additional elements from other die sets. This is something I like to do in much of my card making, is not only use maybe what comes from the original set, whether it's stamps or dies, but I also like to incorporate maybe some extra little elements. And in this case, we're going to use the candy cane and like lollipop candy from the Santa's Elves Etched Dies. And this is from the North Pole collection. And then we're also going to use the ringing bell, like the little bell that Santa holds. It's going to be tucked into the sleigh with the packages. That is from the Clauses. Now, I did run my one layer through the embossing folder. This is called Sparkling Snow 3D embossing folder. And then I took my white pigment ink pad and very gently rubbed it along the top of the embossed panel so that only the snowflakes pick up that white embossed area. That really helps those snowflakes pop. It is on a beautiful light base, so it really gives that frosty, fun feeling. I am also using a blue, white, and gold color combo here today, which has been one of my favorites. I think it was my day one from the Stitchmas 2025 box in this color combo, and it continues to be a favorite. And I am one of those people who, if it's not broke, don't fix it, kind of. But what I mean is I like, if I am feeling something in a season, and I do find from year to year, those things tend to shift and change maybe a little bit, but I will really kind of embrace it. There is nothing wrong with utilizing, like in this case, the same color combo for more than one card. And I am really loving kind of this frosty fun, is what I call it, type of look. So the sleigh is a die cut from Malibu, a textured white glitter cardstock and brushed gold, and then assembled. And I have all of the pieces from that. And this is, again, the Delivering Joy Sleigh, which is one of my picks for the holiday gift guide. I'm also going to link put a link here on the screen, as well as down in the description for my holiday gift guide video, my top picks from that holiday gift guide, where I talk all about some of my favorite products and things. And then you're going to see me really showcase projects with those things in the next coming weeks while this discount is going on. My discount code is Nichol10 to save 10% from now through November 16th, 2025. Please use my code when ordering and save a little bit on Spellbinders products. Make sure you check out the exclusions for that, things like clubs and clearance items. For the full list, check out spellbinders.com. So now I have a huge stack. I mean, what sleigh is complete without a giant stack of presents in the sleigh? And in this case, this is 6 packages. And I, again, kept with my blue, gold, and white color combo. I just really am loving all of these soft, subtle colors, and the repetition is really impactful. I haven't glimmered my sentiment for the card yet, but I did know which sentiment I was going to use, so I was using that as a guide for where to place the sleigh on my card. And you might have noticed before I placed that sleigh down, I also only I used the sentiment as a guide, so I kind of knew how much space to leave, because I know there's going to be a lot of stuff tucked into that sleigh. But I also really want to make sure it all flows together beautifully. And so I kind of use that as a guide, and then I only put my adhesive around the bottom and the bottom edge, nothing around that top. I want to make sure that I have left enough room to make it really easy to tuck in my presents, to tuck in those extra accessories we talked about, like the candy cane and bell, and just, you know, I don't want to limit myself or have glued something down that makes it really hard to put the rest of the design together. So now I have my presents, and I really love the presents in this set. If you guys remember, and if you watch my holiday gift guide video, I talked about how I used a lot of these elements from Delivering Joy Sleigh, except for the sleigh basically, on that Stitchmas Day 12 card with the Nutcracker. These presents can be used with lots of different sets. Christmas tree sets on their own, really all kinds of things. You could even use them for birthday cards. They don't have to be Christmas packages at all. Take away all the greenery, take away the sleigh. If you just need a great package die, these are fantastic. If I can impress upon anything with a lot of my videos here, I like to, what I call, shop my stash and shop my other sets. You don't have to stick just within a single set to make really great cards. What makes our products versatile is mixing and matching, is taking little parts and pieces from here and there and really creating something completely new and fun. It's that creative process that I really think is what we all love and enjoy of this hobby. And we all have invested in these beautiful die sets that we love to create with, and finding ways to utilize them beyond just what they're intended is one of my absolute favorite things. So neither set that I'm showcasing today, A, is brand new. They've both been out for a little while, and B, I have used both of them, or at least pieces from both of them, before. And that kind of goes for a lot of the other things I'm using. I'll talk about anything that I've never used before. Actually, the Santa's Elves and anything from the Santa set, I have not used those yet, but I am going to be using them soon, so stay tuned because they're absolutely darling. Those are new sets. So those are some new things that I've pulled into some older product. I also believe that this embossing folder, the Sparkling Snow, is new this season. I have used it throughout Stitchmas, and it's one of my favorites. I think it's just gorgeous. But the nested Postage, also not new. I love it. I love great basics. So I talked about that in my holiday gift guide video. Basics are always a good idea. So here's the candy cane and bell. Those are going to be tucked kind of in front of the package. The lollipop kind of candy thing, I'm actually going to stitch into the greenery because I like that. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about here is texture. If you're limiting the amount of colors you're choosing to use on a project, which is kind of how I tend to like to craft probably 90% of the time, I like to find ways to incorporate those same colors, but in texture. So we've got white glitter. We have ice vellum from Simon Says Stamp. That's the Poinsettia color. So it's a white, but it's kind of a creamy white. We have also like a champagne color. I don't know if Simon Says Stamp calls this gold or not, but that's also a vellum. That was those poinsettia leaves. It's also going to be some of the other greenery in here. That ties into the gold portion, that brushed gold from Spellbinders that we're using. Then I've got my white treasure glitter cardstock, which looks amazing on here. And then we have our shades of blue, but you're going to notice there's going to be, instead of green foliage or greenery, I've chosen to do mine in whites and gold because I feel like that ties in better to this card. And I also think this provides a level of elegance that's a little less cutesy and a little bit more of that elegant type of Christmassy card design, which I enjoy. I enjoy both kinds, but it's really fun just trying to figure out ways to use your product differently. And we're going to actually tuck that little lollipop candy into our greenery, which is a little bit more of a whimsical, fun feel. But if you've ever seen different wreath designs or garland designs that have been decorated, a lot of times you'll see like little lollipops and things in them. And that's what inspired this in my design today. So that's always something to keep in mind, is be inspired by actual home decor. Whenever I'm doing a floral arrangement, I very much keep in mind floral decor. Okay, our card die cutting is assembled and done. We are now going to take, this is a new set from this season from Yana, and this is called Christmas Cheer Sentiments, BetterPress, but of course I'm foiling them. If you are new here, I love to foil my BetterPress plates. I do that probably more than I actually BetterPress, even though I love both. And in addition to foiling my sentiment from the Christmas cheer set, that little joy tag is actually from Delivering Joy Sleigh. There's two different sentiments with the tiny little tag. I foiled the sentiment instead of die cutting it. Yes, it is a die, but I actually really prefer foiling these types of sentiments from Spellbinders. And I did both of this on my light blue cardstock, which I think is the color Windy. The actual color will be listed down below. And then I'm going to tie a little gold cord from Spellbinders onto my tag and tuck it into the floral arrangement at the top of the sleigh so that it looks like it's tied in. It's not actually in this case, but I love that. This little tag would be great tied to packages from either this die set or other die sets, or you could use this in a multitude of ways as well. So we're actually going to use this, the Noel sentiment from Delivering Joy Sleigh and this tag on our next card. So a way to incorporate it into another card design. We're going to just snip up the ends of the ribbon or the cording there. Look how cute that looks hanging. I love it. We've popped up our greeting with foam adhesive right underneath. I often will use the same color as the background to foil on just so that it blends in and it doesn't stand out. Glue the whole thing to a white top fold card base. And then of course we're going to finish with my favorite embellishment, which is the Spellbinders gems. They come in the best sizes in every color you can imagine. Stock up. They are my absolute favorite. This is the gold gems, and I'm using the lighter shade. I felt like that matched my card a little bit better. I usually use an embellishment wand or the tool-in-one, something with a sharp tip to kind of help pick those up and keep my fingers out of the adhesive on these self-adhesive gems and pop them in place. This card is gorgeous. I honestly think it would be great to design this. And in fact, I think that would be a great idea to do for pocket pages on a December Daily album. I am doing December Daily. If you've watched any of my holiday gift guide or videos where I've talked about that, just as an embellishment. And then, of course, in the other pockets, you can add your photos or your journaling, your memories, all of that good stuff. But wouldn't it be beautiful? Just match whatever theme. Let's work on card 2. Now, I actually have not used this plate yet, and all of my cross stitchers, you're going to say, girl, why have you not? It's called the Petite Crisscross Press Plate. Oh my word. I foiled it with white on my light blue cardstock, and then I'm going to go ahead and foil my sentiments on the Windy color cardstock using gold foil. But that background, you guys, I am dying over that background. Yes, I had to foil my sentiments twice because it shifted and boogered up the first ones. I then die cut my sentiments with the little tag die from Delivering Joy Sleigh. And then the other sentiment is from the Country Christmas Banner and Sentiments press plate from this season, from the Country Christmas collection. And again, I just like to pick sentiments. I've used BetterPress plates for both of my main sentiments on these two cards today, but you can foil your BetterPress plates. The opposite is not true. So you can't foil, or pardon me, you can't BetterPress your foil plates if they're foil only. So I really, really love with the BetterPress plates that you can BetterPress them which is that letterpress system from Spellbinders, or you can foil them. So I just feel like they serve double duty, and I love foiling. Love, love, love. The two colors I've used here today, are the matte gold and the white opal. No, not opal. The white, pardon me. I also like the opal foil. That's my third favorite, but I've used two of my favorites. Gold foil, whether it's, regular gold or matte gold. I tend to prefer the matte gold. And then the white foil, oh my word, two of my favorites. Anyway, now I had die cut all the rest of my pieces for this second card, minus the layering piece for the candy cane, because I couldn't decide if I wanted to go non-traditional with my candy cane or not. Now, I know not everyone likes a non-traditional color scheme, but the more I looked at this, the more I thought if I use red and white on this, no matter what kind of shade of red I use, it's not going to look right. I want this really to kind of match the theme of the first card, where it's more of this elegance, this Christmas elegance, this frosty fun elegance look. And I'm so, so glad I used the Malibu cardstock for my layering piece. Now the candy canes here, I use the brushed white cardstock from Spellbinders, which is any of the brushed colors of cardstock are some of my absolute favorite. But then I have done all of my greenery very similarly from the first card. So brushed gold, glitter, glitter white, the ice vellum, that kind of champagne color. All of that is going to be very, very similar. So we have all of the texture, but without a lot of additional color. So for this card, I did opt to put some thin foam adhesive on the back. We're going to do this all over on the back of one of our candy canes. And then the other one, we need to kind of creatively piece our foam on the back of it so that where it overlaps the first one, we're not putting foam adhesive. And I forgot to put foam around the tip here. I don't want it to lay funny. And our goal with this card is I want to create a floral arrangement. So this card is a cross between the tags I made last year, which I will link down in the description, using this candy cane set, as well as the Christmas sealed Sprigs set, which is where a lot of this long greenery comes from. Some of the rest of the greenery, the poinsettias, come from the Delivering Joy Sleigh as well. The leaves, the individual hollyberry leaves for this are from the candy cane set. It's really a mishmash of different things. And then the bigger greenery, because I didn't feel like some of the smaller greenery from the Delivering Joy Sleigh worked, not all of it anyway. I actually picked the Christmas Bird Poinsettia set, which is one of my all-time favorites as well. So I've used it over and over again. It's one that I reach for a lot of times. It also has candy canes in it. But what I love about these candy canes and holly set is that they're huge. They're a statement, which I really, really like a lot. So as I was saying, this is a cross between those tags I made last year and from the 13 days of Craftoween, where I minus the hand, because I did a skeleton hand holding a bouquet, but this card was inspired by that same idea. Does that make sense? So I love to find ways to find inspiration from previous cards I've made in the new things. Obviously, this card has absolutely nothing to do with Halloween, but that same sort of idea of this bouquet in the center is the same. Tying together the components with some cording, that also is the same. And then the sprigs and all of that. And then of course, when we add the texture paste to this design, that is very similar to my tags I made last year. Now in this case, remember that other little tag from the Delivering Joy Sleigh that I talked about and that I foiled? We're going to tie this one actually into this little bouquet. And I made sure anything long, so any of the greenery, the candy canes that were long, they got tucked in or first, then I wrapped it all up, then I tied my tag in, and then we're going to work on building the rest of our greenery and the bouquet. So tucking in 3 little poinsettia flowers. We've got 3 glittery branches. It's really just building your floral arrangement. That's kind of how I look at this. This smaller, or this little sprig, pardon me, also from the Christmas bird poinsettia. Sometimes the names, I get them all tangled up. That's that champagne-ish color of vellum. Kind of, it's a goldish color, but a different gold than brush gold is kind of how I look at that. Again, it's all about texture. And we're just building that bouquet. It doesn't have to all be tied in like I tied the longer elements. I just want it to look like it is. Does that make sense? Kind of just building this little Christmas bouquet here. So all of these longer pieces, I kind of got to tucking them in and then gluing down. And this leaf got some glue on it, and I decided, don't worry about it, just leave it. I'm going to go back in with the texture paste, the grit texture paste from Tim Holtz. It's the opaque one that's white because I love that flocked look. And we'll just apply that kind of over where that glue is, and no one will ever know that I kind of had that big glob of glue. And we're going to be adding it to all of the elements because I want it to look kind of snowy and flocked. But I want my bouquet really, really full. And then I want it to look like the larger leaves from the candy canes and holly set are kind of back behind where the tag is. So those are going to get tucked back behind. And then the larger berries from the candy canes and holly will be tucked also right around that bow that we tied with the gold cord. And those will have some little layers and as well. And we'll add a little flocking to all of the leaves and the berries. It looks beautiful like this, but just wait till we add the flocking. For me, that's kind of magical. When I am doing any kind of Christmas foliage, I just really love that flocking look. And it can be a little scary after you've put together a beautiful card, because it's beautiful like this. You put together your card and you're looking at it and you don't, because you really, once you've committed, you've committed. But I promise it's going to look amazing. So remember that sentiment that we foiled, the Merry Christmas sentiment from our Country Christmas banner set. What I love about this set is there's some different banners with this, and I picked the one that looks like it has torn edges, almost like a washi tape edge. And I'm going to place this over the bottoms here. And I actually put foam adhesive all over it, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So I'm going to peel that off, and I'm actually going to just put foam on the 2 ends so that it straddles that area in between. And it's going to lay a lot nicer. But I love it because it does kind of look washi tape-ish, and it looks beautiful against this background. It's already looking so amazing. Okay, at this point, it is time for our grit paste. Now, I love the Spellbinders. Oh, I forgot. We actually have to add, I didn't add the berries to the center, so it's not quite time yet. So all the berries in the centers and things, and I forgot to apparently attach that poinsettia, sometimes that happens, are from the brushed gold cardstock. And so we have lots of these little pieces because I did choose to do 3 of these small poinsettias from the Delivering Joy Sleigh. I thought this smaller size actually worked better. It's really similar to the Christmas sealed Sprigs. I just like the design on this particular poinsettia better than the sealed Sprigs set. So that's part of my mixing and matching as well. I've used both, but I just really liked the petal design from the Delivering Joy Sleigh. But there's also a gorgeous poinsettia if you're looking for a bigger poinsettia design, or if you even wanted to mix Christmas bird poinsettia, where a lot of the greenery is from in this card, has a great larger size poinsettia. That one and the Delivering Joy Sleigh also would look good together. I hope that I'm just encouraging you guys to try mixing and matching because it's incredible. The things you can get by mixing and matching is just so good. I love it so much. I do store my Christmas dies in a Christmas section so that I can, instead of having to go like maybe by collection or whatever, I can go to my Christmas bin and I can search through that and have fun mixing and matching. I've done that for the 2 series that I've done recently, the 13 Days of Craftoween and 12 Days of Stitchmas. That was also how I approached both of those series here on my channel. And it's been literally, it's one of my favorite things always, but I felt myself just diving into that more and more. Okay, my best tip for flocking and adding that snowy look to your die cuts. A good palette knife. This Spellbinders palette knife I love. And only put a tiny bit of amount of product on the tip of your palette knife. If it gets gunky, clean it off before going back to your card. And then just barely touch the areas that you want to add your little flocking or your snow to. And work a little bit at a time. You can see I'll just tap a little bit on and then I just go in and I add a little bit here and there. And then you want to allow this to completely dry. We're not putting a super heavy application on. It will dry pretty quickly. I would say 30 minutes, but I would probably wait a day before popping it in an envelope to send. This would also be a beautiful design, either one of these, framed. We'll finish with a scattering of a few gold gems. And that is it, friends. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these 2 beautiful, elegant Christmas cards featuring 2 of my picks from the Holiday Gift Guide 2025 from Spellbinders. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly love sharing creativity with this amazing community of crafters. A special thank you goes out to my wonderful Patreon members. I appreciate you all so much. If you'd like to join us on Patreon, you'll find the link in the video description below. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do and enjoy exclusive content, behind the scenes updates, and extra perks. There's something for everyone, and we'd love to have you join our growing community. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click that like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.